Introduce yourself for us and tell us about various brands you have here.
Yeah, so I'm Jack. I am currently working for 360 as a setter and a shaper. Today we have all our in-house brands, so 360, Neo, Simpl, Ready, Good Holds, and Lynx behind the door here. They're all produced by us in-house in Slovenia. We have four materials: wood, plywood, fiberglass, PU and PE. Technically thermoforming maybe next year, so we're working on that. And yeah, we are presenting pretty much all our new things for me to say.
Yeah. What highlights have you got?
Well, I mean, visually, the Ghost Plywood has been out and about the whole World Cup season, both lead and boulder. It is the clear highlight because of how it looks. Functionally, I would say low profile volumes, easy to stock, easy to play. Especially commercially, they look competition style, but they work very well commercially because of in commercial gyms you actually have slabs, so that you can actually stand on the friction. And we had the PU and a new selection of Ghost fiberglass. So altogether is a really cool selection. You can buy the whole thing and just pick it together. They will be available in normal colors like the color palette and the black or natural dual tacks, and those are actually really cool. Yeah, so when I moved to the quarters, me as a setter, the quarters always been my favorite sort of thing in 360 because of how 3D they can make climbing. And the only thing is that the edge, and you know better than I do, has always been a bit sharp. So when we started, we had some other issues connected to the quarters and the slices, which is the sharp edge that creates some hair bubbles while molding. So we worked a lot to try to solve that and still have the shape, but at some point we were like, we can just make round corners. And that made for what I think is the same product, but at the same time looks way modern, and it just feels great. And we reshaped the whole family, obviously adding the wood insert. You can have obviously full tacks or no tacks. There's lots of different colors.
Are these available separately and customized?
Yeah. You can obviously have the black quarter and get the color that you want. I guess there will be also, actually we were discussing last week, there will be bolt holes as well. And add more stuff added this year. Especially this was the first thing we developed, the fusion. I've used them quite a fair bit in the early stages, big fan. The PU just came out, like it's fresh from the press. The wood as well. I've seen some of the shapes in the factory, but I actually took them in my hand this week.
Right. Fresh.
Yeah, and again, we can have a look behind. There's more fusion shapes, but you can have the plates. They come out of the factory with the wooden plates, and you can buy the colored ones. For lead, they are amazing. Lead, I think, in my opinion, they shine. Boulders, yes, they end up being a very good alternative to volumes. The way I see it.
Sure.
But there is a bunch of these that they're just holds and no wooden inserts. So there's a lot of variety with it. The PU is not the full set. There's a lot more to come. And I'm pretty a big fan of some of the shapes, like this thing is sick. Oh, Simpl, yeah, Simpl surface. Basically, we wanted to add fiberglass to the wood. And at the beginning, the shapes were mainly this size to fit on the volumes. And then we decided to go a little bit bigger. It's quite an extensive family. 27 shapes are out already. This is probably, now there is another one that is much more positive than this. Up to this, there's quite a big jug. I like them, honestly, I like them alone. Boulders especially, they make for quite an interesting adventure.
Especially where they start at super low profile, so like some nice risky slab climbing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're great, and especially they feel less risky than a lot of things to me, just because of the way the grab is a bit more out. You can still pinch quite a bit.
Yeah.
The thumb ends up to be on the no-tax, which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have big hands, of course. But there is a little bit of everything, and the footholds are really bad. Which, I mean, you enjoy it, yeah. I enjoy it as setters, okay. Customers a bit less.
Yeah.
But you know. Lynx. So these were developed to work with the original Pentax volume. There's more of these at our distributor, Gripsy. So you can have a look over there. They have a pink version with the bigger shapes. This is the latest expansion of the PE range. Personally, I really like it. Especially there's some bigger shapes that you can have a look over there. And commercially, they are great. And Rebel, this was released as a wood and mix of wood and texture. And then we decided to expand the family with fiberglass. It's a bit old school. Well, relatively modern old school, but the shapes are really good. I personally haven't sat with them yet because we produced them and then brought them here. But I think, given they have a very restricted footprint commercially, even in UK where the density is a bit higher than Europe, I think that will work pretty well. And they can go with volumes, obviously, so they aesthetically, and if you are looking to expand a family or a range that you have already and to something that has a similar vibe that you can test, I think they work pretty well. Ready, we haven't introduced anything new for Ready in a while. So that was one of the goals for this year, to have some new shapes. And out of everything, this is the thing that I'm most excited to play with. Mostly because of the long nature of the shapes, the way I like to use lines to help me on a setting day. And they actually quite interesting. The grab is very far behind, so he's hidden. Coming from this side, it's hard to see if you go into a jog or to a sloper. And as a setter, I appreciate hiding a good bit of information. There's pinches, there's good holds, there's a big jog here, it's slightly more subtle, positive, good positive pinch, regardless of the size of your hand. I think this is pretty decent. And obviously tax and no tax. I've seen a full no tax version lying around.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm hoping that actually goes out and about.
Yeah.
I have a problem with no tax. There you go.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. Do you like it?
Oh yeah, these are great. Yeah, and like you said, just like being able to build very quickly something super aesthetic with just minimal material, just because they just lend themselves to a very aesthetic line, and because there's such a range in quite similar shapes, you can keep the climber guessing when they don't fully know what they're going to get when they go for it.
Even like with a set of this, that is also a good prompt to teach younger setters how the value of hiding information with holds and in volumes, and that's also why I like Neos a lot, because the nature of how they are allows you to put things behind corners and hide things behind the curve.
Yeah.
So yeah, from the way I say, I would order a bunch of these in the same color of my volumes, for example, and then have the plates of different colors to then put them maybe in the circuit.
Yeah. Are they all the same?
For these three shapes, yes. This obviously is a bit bigger. and we have something a bit smaller up to this size, I think. Yeah, they are.
Like general production times at the moment, is everything like 2 month wait list?
Fiberglass, PU and PE are pretty fast at the moment. I will say 1 to 2 months, depending on brand and size of order, which is relatively good. The wood at the moment is what is a bit longer. There's a lot of requests for plywood volumes, so probably 2 to 3. So still acceptable, depending also on availability. We do have some stock that we offer, especially for UK now. We are selling directly with a pretty good discount program according to dimension of orders and stuff. So yeah.
Is the 360 setup in Mexico good to go? Are the Americans?
We are producing already.
Yeah.
We have been visiting the facility recently, like a month ago.
Yeah.
It's working. There are orders. We are sending more molds month by month.
Yeah.
Obviously, the molds that we have in-house needs to be redone and sent there, and we send double molds.
Sure.
More brands are now from US are asking to be produced. Like anything takes time, because obviously once a brand decides to be produced, there are molding times, meetings and so on.
Yeah.
But the production is going well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. Okay. So Good Notes is one of the last brands that we insert into the 360 family.
Yeah.
And is specifically oriented to beginners to intermediate climbers. We started with PE, with the Joy line. It was like 112, between 112 and 120 shapes. We launched it last year.
Yeah.
And this year we already added fiberglass and another line of PE. PU is available as well. There was a high request for PU from US. So we made a selection, and it's now available in Europe as well. I mean, jugs are jugs, but not every jug is created equal. So as a commercial specific brand, there's a lot to play with, from the small foothold to the very big double-ended jug. They feel really good. The fiberglass, there's nine shapes. I like them in lead as well a lot. Like there's a very steep lead wall in a gym in Slovenia, like Pletani Center. Don't remember the name. But anyway, there's a really big gym in Slovenia with a very steep roof. And we put already like 3 or 4 routes, and they're from 6A to 6E. They're really fun to play with. Yeah. Slovenska Bistrica. That was the name. That's the one. That's the full set.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
No, thank you so much.